Om Shanti. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. And the screen is also visible, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Should I begin, brother?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Start.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family. Today we are continuing with the third part of the Murli of Brahmin birth is the birth of incarnation. And it had stopped where the questions begin now. So I'm going to continue from there. So the first question, what is the new plan for this year's service? Answer, in order to bring time close, you first have to do the service of making the atmosphere powerful through your attitude. For this, pay special attention to your attitude. Secondly, in order to serve others, especially make emerge such souls who truly believe that the method for peace can only be found here. Let the sound emerge this year that if there is to be peace, it will only be through this method. This is the only method. What the world needs is nothing else but this method. This atmosphere should be created everywhere at the same time. In Bharat or abroad, let there be the sparkle of peace in a very visible way. Let everyone, everywhere be touched and be attracted and say that if there is a right place, it is here. Just as the government has the UNO, that's the United Nations, so that when anything happens, everyone's attention is drawn there. In the same way, whenever something happens and creates peacelessness, everyone's attention should be drawn to you as the souls who give the message of peace. Let them experience that this is the only place where they can remain safe from peacelessness and where they can seek refuge. This atmosphere should be created this year. The knowledge is good, your life is good, Rajyoga is good. Everyone says this, but now let the sound be heard that real attainment can be attained here, that the world will benefit at this place with this method. Do you understand? For this, specially advertise peace. If anyone wants peace, you can find the method here. Have a peace week. Have a gathering for peace. Have yoga camps for giving them the experience of peace. Spread vibrations of peace in this way. Creating students through service is very good. That expansion definitely has to take place. However, now just as you have a variety of nationalities and souls of different religions, so there should be souls of all different occupations at every place. Anyone who goes to a center should be able to find someone of his own occupation at that center who can share his experience, just as you have workshops here, sometimes of doctors, sometimes of lawyers, etc. When people of different occupations speak of the one subject of peace on the basis of their own occupation, they enjoy that. So, in the same way, people of every occupation should relate their experience of peace to anyone who comes to the center, and this will create an impact on them. Let them experience that this is an easy method for those of all occupations. For instance, for some time now, good advertising has taken place that this is the only method for those of all religions. Let there be this sound. Therefore, now spread the sound in this way. This sound reaches those who are in contact with you and the students. But now let there be a bit more attention spade to enable the sound to be spread in all directions. Only a few Brahmins have been created so far. The speed of becoming Brahmins, number wise, cannot be said to be fast. Now they should be at least 900,000. At the beginning of the Golden Age, you will rule over a minimum of 900,000, will you not? There will be subjects in that too, but only when they now come into contact with you very well will they then become subjects. So, according to this account, how fast should the speed be? As yet, the number is very small. What is the total number of those abroad? At the least, the number of those abroad should be 2 to 300,000. You're making very good effort. There isn't anything wrong, but now the speed should be a little faster. The speed will increase through the general atmosphere. Question: what is the way to create such a powerful atmosphere? Answer: you yourself become powerful. For this, pay special attention to checking whether your stage and every action from Amrit Vela onwards is powerful or not. By being busy in serving others and in making plans for service, there's sometimes a little lightness, slackness in your own stage. This is why the atmosphere doesn't become powerful. Service takes place, but the atmosphere doesn't become powerful. For this, you have to pay special attention to yourself. Karma and yoga. Together with karma, there has to be a powerful stage. This balance is lacking a little. By just being busy in service, your own stage doesn't remain powerful. The amount of time you give for service, the extent to which you use your body, mind, and wealth for service, in terms of this, you don't receive the 100,000-fold return of one that you should receive. The reason for this is that there isn't the balance of karma and yoga. Just as you make plans for service, you have leaflets printed, you have programs on the TV and radio, just as you use these external facilities, in the same way, first of all, you should have a special method to make your state of the mind powerful. This attention is lacking. You then say that because you were busy, you missed out on this a little. Then there cannot be double benefit. Question: some Brahmin souls are influenced by evil souls. What should we do at that time? And the answer is, for this, the atmosphere of the center has to remain very powerful at all times. And together with this, your own state should also be powerful. Then the evil spirits won't be able to do anything. They catch hold of the mind because the power of the mind is weak. Those evil spirits influence the soul. So from the beginning, Yog-yukt souls should have special yoga bhattis and give that influence soul power. The group of Yog-yukt souls should also understand that they have to perform this special task. Just as you do other programs in the same way, you also have to do this program with just as much attention. So when that soul receives power from the beginning, he can be saved. That soul may not be able to sit in yoga because of being under the influence of someone else. It doesn't matter if that soul doesn't sit in yoga, but you must continue to carry on with your task with faith in the intellect. Then gradually the mischief of that soul will continue to calm down. Many evil souls will first try to attack you, but you must realize that you have to carry out this task. Don't be afraid, and slowly the influence of that evil soul should be removed. Acha. Question. Sometimes some souls with disturbed minds come to the center to hear knowledge. What should be done in such cases? Answer. If on hearing knowledge there is a change in that soul, and it has an experience even for a few seconds, then it should be encouraged to take Gyan. But sometimes souls just come because they're stumbling and just want to find a place, not because they want to hear knowledge. So feel with what aim they have come. Just check whether the soul has come to transform itself or with madness has just come. I will go to whatever place I can find. So feel the pulse and have the power of discrimination. Sometimes some mad people come. When they see the door open, they just enter. They're not in their right mind, not conscious of what they are doing. So you must have the power of discrimination. Otherwise, time is wasted. But when someone comes with a good aim and has a disturbed mind, then it is your task to give help. But you should not attend such souls alone. Especially a Kumari should not attend a mad person. A mad person, on seeing a Kumari, becomes more mad. If you think the soul is worthy, there should be a mature and responsible person present who can give him time. Because the world is very dirty and people have dirty thoughts as well. This is why you must pay attention to this point. You need a very clear intellect in this. If you have a clear intellect, you can catch the vibrations of what aim a person has got. Question. Nowadays, there is an atmosphere of stealing and fear. So, what should be done at that time? At that time, again, you need the power of yoga. For example, someone comes with a thought to scare you. You have to have the power of yoga. If you start to speak, it will cause damage. This is why you should give him the power of peace. To speak means to add fuel to the fire. Stay in the stage that you don't care. Be an observer, but inside you should have the power of peace. And when you have the power of inner peace, he won't do anything. He will also understand that there they don't care. Otherwise, when they come to scare you and you fluctuate, you will also cause fluctuation in them. It is your fear that encourages them. This is why you must never be afraid. At that time, be in the powerful stage of an observer. To use that power of being an observer, you need to practice. The practice of being an observer is used at that time. Question. What is the meaning of misuse of Baba's blessings? Answer. Sometimes Baba gives titles to his children. For instance, he says, "You are a very serviceable child. You are Baba's special child, a unique child." When he gives such titles and they misuse these titles, what do they think? That they have already become so. I am in this stage. And in this way, considering this, they forget to make future effort. This is called misuse of the blessings. Because Bap Dada gives blessings and instead of using it for service, they use it for the self. To make efforts according to their blessings and to use them for service is the right use of blessings. To become careless is misuse of blessings. Another question. In the Bible, it is mentioned that there will be Antichrist. What does this mean? Answer. Antichrist means those who decrease the influence of his teachings, his religion. For example, even within the Christian religion, they are decreasing the value of the religion as well. They do not realize the power of their own religion, and so they give power to other religions. or they do not give importance to the teachings, they are called Antichrist. For instance, by priests leading a family life, they do not give importance to purity, to celibacy, and they also encourage others to lead a family life. So this is just like they have become Antichrist. Acha. So this was the third part of the Murli of Brahmin birth is the birth of incarnation. So let's reflect for a few minutes on these questions and answers, which was the third part, and then we can start the churning. So if we are ready to start sharing, who would like to begin with their takeaway, their reflection?
Shanti.
Om Shanti.
So, it's all very important questions. Not sure who asked this. Um, so, whether it is creating a service plan or the effect in the service or creating a powerful atmosphere or to save the self from the evil, right? And everything actually leads to have a powerful stage. We need to have a powerful stage. That means we need to have the remembrance of Baba. So that actually plays a vital role here. That's what I've understood. Because if we have to create a powerful atmosphere, means the atmosphere is only created with powerful remembrance. And similarly, if we have to um, be safe from any of the evil souls, also then having a powerful stage is very important. And right, and even if any sort of a people are coming with a disturbed mind, right? So there also we need to have that power to discriminate why that soul has come, right? So there also how the discrimination power will come the more we stabilize in the self, that again in turns leading to having a powerful stage. Right. Um, so the power of remembrance is actually the most important thing that I've understood in this all Murlis. So how much am I really stable in that? How much am I able to stabilize in that stage when there is a situation, or especially in the challenging situation, that is something that I need to check within me. Because situations, as we know, the situations are getting worse day by day. Problems are increasing. It's not settling down, it's increasing. So, but what we can do is we can make ourselves ready to face that situation, so that we'll be able to conquer that situation. At least we'll be able to face that situation. So there again, remembrance is playing the key role there. Yeah, so that's the takeaway for me. Shanti, thank you.
Yes, thank you, brother. Thank you for that sharing, that we have to be ourselves in that powerful stage, especially in today's time. And that's how we can bring in the change that Baba has been speaking about. Thank you for that sharing. Anybody else would like to add on their own reflections? There were many question and answers in this last segment, and there may be something that connected closely to your own thoughts that you may wish to discuss.
This is quite interesting, right? The misuse of Baba's blessing.
Yes, yes, you're right.
Yeah, so when Baba gives the blessing, it doesn't mean that they have already reached that stage. So Baba is giving us some extra power in that area, that's for sure. But it's more of we becoming aware of what we are, or what we want to become, right? So when we think that I'm already on that stage, so because Baba gave me that blessing, that is actually it's not. I mean, we have not really become that. So that's where we are really misusing that blessings. That means it's kind of a carelessness, right? And we don't really become that. So I think Papa see the potential of the child, and then wants the child to go in that direction, and then therefore give the vardhan, the blessings, that you are a special soul or a serviceable soul child. So if we take it for granted and then stop doing service, then that's the carelessness. But if we see that, okay, I can make use of this vardhan and do more service and focus on that, then we will really become an embodiment of that vardhan, that blessing. Right? That's what I've
Yes.
understood.
Yes. So, many of us, when we go to the center and, or you do after a yoga or some special program, they give you those blessing cards, you know, and those blessing cards have a lot of nice things written on it. So, on one hand, they do uplift your energy and motivate you and make you feel connected. Oh, this is what Baba is guiding me. But, like you rightly said, it is telling you that you have the power to be this, right? But we have to make sure that we actually are in that stage by making that effort, that we have the potential to be there and we can be there easily. and not to get lost in ego and I'm already there kind of thing. So I think that's the hint which in this answer we are receiving, not to take it for granted and not to presume that nothing more needs to be done.
Right, but if you check on the path of devotion, that is not how it is really demonstrated, right? When the deity comes and gives a vardhan, means that he has become that, sarup of that vardhan, already embodiment of that vardhan, and then he can do whatever he wants with that power that he has attained from the deities, right?
True. So again, it is, in my view, just how that individual is taking that blessing. And whether it is the path of devotion or the path of what Baba has taught us, it can be misused either way. It is actually how you yourself realize that where you are, in which stage. This is just my thought on this because you also have Brahma Kumaris and Kumars who may think that they are already at the best stage because they got a blessing. So, in fact, that is what Baba is cautioning us about. So, it can happen in whichever path you are following. Um, and to become careless is actually that misuse of that blessing. But on the other hand, I think we have so much of motivational blessing cards in the BK centers and so much of I'm a powerful soul, I'm a peaceful soul to bring us to that alignment with Baba. As long as we don't get so carried away that we know that, yes, I'm that, as long as I'm in that stage, but am I all the time in that stage? Because every time I drop, I'm not that stage and I'm becoming careless. And I'm actually in an ego stage, just thinking that I'm in that stage. So I think that's the caution over here. Maybe anybody else may also wish to add and share. The quiet group today, meditating, reflecting. Sister Radhamani, we want to hear from you. Sister Lata, Sister Chandrakala, whatever sharing, because we all learn from each other in this study group. Sister Rami, Girjaben,
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I was another call. I just logged in. I'm hoping we read the Murli of February 24th of 1984. Is that right?
yes, that's right. Brother, thank you for
Oh,
I did the last part reading, the question and answers.
yeah, that was very juicy, Murli. I'm sure.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So thank
Wow.
you, and you're welcome to add your own thoughts on these questions and answers which we read, and we just started doing the reflections and discussions, but we are happy to have you here, and please continue.
Sure thing. So, so I mainly want to hear from our children here who have. What do you think about this thing called Antichrist? And this is a really buzzword here in the
And
Western world. I never I heard this discussion happened in the olden days, but I never saw this Murli until I myself got my hands onto it.
Right, right.
Mhm.
So I like the
Yeah.
way Baba gave that example of Antichrist. But
Mm,
in my view, the Antichrist is not the way the world thinks. There's a devil and there's this and that. Okay, that might also be there. But Antichrist is anything that goes against the basic teachings of Jesus Christ.
that's right.
Which
Mm-hmm.
he taught you to be forgiving, merciful, kind, compassionate, loving. And so anything that is away from the basic principles of what Jesus taught is one of the
Mm,
ways that you can call it antichrist, is what I picked up from this message as well.
yeah. And in a way, it is also relevant for us to some extent. For example, when Baba says, like, look, generally, religion believes in celibacy, purity, total dedication for the practice, and no other distractions. And especially in Christianity, they're very staunch. And same thing with Hinduism, like saints and sannyasis who are there. And even in Murli's Baba says, like, look, they're supposed to be in the mountain somewhere. Now they have their nice apartments and big Rolls Royce and all kinds of stuff. Look what happened to them. In a way, it is counterculture, right?
Mm,
So those are the very people who went against their own practices itself are counterproductive, or are doing against the message that they are trying to present. You see? So I see, like, oh my God, this is a big wake up call.
mm,
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually
yes.
indicates how much that religion has become Tamo Pradhan, right? Because Baba
Mm-hmm.
also mentioned in one of the Sakar Murli that sannyasis, they are living in town. That are not just that, but they are also becoming an instrument to carry out the marriage ceremonies and all. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
they're supposed to be teaching the power of purity, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they remain celibate, but here nowadays they are actually becoming an instrument to make others get married, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
really against what they're doing.
But
That's
I'm
right.
not so sure whether that can be called antichrist, because that is the path of the world. Because for the generations to continue, there will be marriages, there will be people who would live in this world. So if the priest is reading some prayers, actually trying to explain to them how to lead a good life after marriage, and reading those chants, whether it is Christianity or Hindu or wherever, would that be
Mm.
really antichrist? I don't think so, in my view.
No, no, mainly, I
Yeah,
think,
that is just
mainly,
supporting.
yeah, and definitely, like, see, their own practice. I mean, there's a lot of scandals there. Especially in Christianity, there is something called confession.
Right, right, yeah.
And in confession, there's a lot of scandals around it, which is more around, like, they come and then they they confess to the priest, saying that, look, I did this thing which I should not be doing, this, that, and the other. And in other words, the guy knows, whoever is listening on the wearing the cape, right? He's
Hmm.
telling, like, oh, you should forgive, and but he knows all the. So it is, confession booth is more like garbage dump, and he's sitting
Right,
on the other side, picking up all the garbage, and he's human, and he's listening to all the mess the whole world is going through, right?
right. Hmm.
So they themselves, they, in other words, they have a lot of inside news. They end up using that. When ego kicks in and your weakest point, they use it against you, you know,
Right,
and
right.
that is how the scandals have kicked in, right? And that is why there's a lot of things that goes on in the name of practice, right? Right, they say, like, everything starts with a good intention.
Yeah.
Hell is created actually with a good intention.
Yes, even after this
So,
Pope passed away recently, there's
oh
a
yeah,
lot
and
of,
so
so
much
much
news.
of, yeah, so many other things which are being
Mm,
said along. It's a little,
mm,
in a way, it is opening up the truth, and in a way, it is also a little sad to see that, some of the
mm,
highest religious order under their influence, so much
mm,
has deteriorated in so many places.
mm. And if you remember in today's, I mean, for us it is today's Murli, for you it is yesterday's Murli. One thing Baba said, like, look, Shankar is not the commander in charge of destruction. You remember?
Hmm.
Yesterday's Murli. And he was telling, and then easy, then who is doing all of this? Who is leading all of this thing? And then immediate statement Baba made, which was so comforting for me, is look, nobody is doing. There is no Ravan or somebody who is telling that go destroy this thing or mess up the whole religion. It is the building got old and started falling apart. That's all it is. It's
Yeah, that's a nice
just
way
the
of putting it. Yeah. It needs refreshment.
building got old.
Yes. Yes.
It's just the matter of time. That's it. It just got old and then it just falling apart. That's all it is. There is nothing more or nothing less about it. It's just the entropy. It just got old and then just fading off and just falling apart.
Mm.
And that is so. Then there is no blame game because of you, because they did, because he did, she did, because of that, this is happening. There is nothing like that. It got old, now it start falling apart. That's all it is. Old world is just the old system. Systems did it what it could do, and now it got old. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. It just because it got old. That's it, and it falling apart. And that's it. Baba came to create a new one. So it is
Yes.
no one's problem or no system problem. Yeah,
Yes,
and there's a whole.
I relate to what you're saying fully. I think
Mm,
every spiritual path, you may call it a different method from ancient times of all parts of the world, whether it is Hinduism or Islam or Christianity or any religion for that matter, they all started with the best intention, with the best teachings, with the best. Over a period of time, they all start, everybody doesn't connect to the real vibration with which it began, and then it starts falling. And then new things come
mm,
to revive, and new names are given to them. But again, the danger is always that over a period of time, the vibration drops, and then again, something new happens. So that's, you see that all around. It's,
yeah, it's all about course correction. I see. It's
yeah,
all about strength. It's all about strength, and it's the energy just start fizzling out. That's all it is. So now somebody else. I like this. The migration birds. You see how migration birds fly like a V formation. So you
yeah,
see them, especially in the West Coast, we see them flying all the time. So you see them how they take turns. They
mm,
have to get to the destination, and sometimes they fly over the ocean where there is nothing to land on for months together, right? So when they are flying, the first one who is leading will take the most hit. They have to take the most wind resistance, and everyone else in the V formation is drafting off of the first one.
yeah,
Right, so they always take turns. They keep rotating. You see them, somebody who's fizzling off, this takes a second place, and then somebody else will step up to lead, right? And I see that way, like those who came in the beginning, they will be leading strong halfway through, and next half, somebody else will step up and then lead the whole collective towards the destination, right? So I see it that way, like because every new religion that starts, they come up with big bang, and then they just pull the whole crowd together, and then everyone follows through, keeps the collective uplifted, and keeping everyone sane. Ravan makes everyone insane. So that's a nice analogy that always helps me. the
Yeah, it's a
migration
nice
tides.
one. Yeah, I like that. Thank you for sharing that. That's a beautiful way of understanding
Mm.
in a different way. Yeah, thank you.
Mm. And at the same time, if you actually see, those who have to last longer will have uh, something, their coping mechanism is little different than those who have to last shorter. For example, those who come in the beginning, their coping mechanism, their resilience will be little more than those who come at the later time of the cycle. So
Right.
so we need to consider that factor when anyone comes, and accordingly um, uh, uh, put put people into perspective when we engage with them or when we try to serve them, especially when Baba says like discern and then check the pulse and all of the stuff. So when we see when somebody coming from a certain mindset, if we consider their coping mechanism based on what point of view they are coming from, so then we can nicely see how well uh, they are just in their own point of view. Because whereas from our point of view, you got to be more resilient, you got to step up and hold bigger crowd, right? And last longer. So
Absolutely.
coping mechanism is a key word.
That's true. And I think also, like, for me personally, in my journey, I've always tried to go back to the original source information of anything. Sometimes you get distracted with different people saying different things, and you start, people, even the spiritual people. I'm talking of people who are on the journey. And so, anytime for me, I practice that if I ever have a doubt about anything, I always try to go back to the original text, meditate, ask Baba directly the question, get your answer, and be clear. Because sometimes every soul is understanding things in a different way, and your own direct connection is very important to get the right answers, for me at least. Like, I always cross check with Baba hundreds of times. This is something, it's not vibing with me. This doesn't relate to what is the essence of what you are teaching. I'll always connect, get my own answer, and I'll follow that. So I don't know why that comes intuitively to me, but I will challenge it in my mind that I need to know, is this really what you meant when you said this? Is this the real meaning or the real essence? Because sometimes words can be interpreted by different people in different ways, and they're all right in their own perspectives. So there's no judgment there. But when for me, I have to take that call, if there's even the slightest doubt, ask Baba. That's the part that I just like to read the origin. Even in the text, I'll go back to the origin, that why this was written
Mm,
like this. Because then for me, that like that the original source is the purest one from where everything began, like you rightly pointed out, like the foundation of the building is where you when it started with such pure intention. Even the other religions were so pure, so perfect, and so relevant at that point of time, right, at that age. But it slowly went down because people started misinterpreting the original thought. So when you go back to
mm,
the original, you find it's so same to what we are saying today, but because we lost it somewhere, so now we think, oh, it's not at the same level. It's not because it got lost, but it never started that way. It started in a very pure way.
mm.
So it is.
That
So
is true.
yeah,
Asking that foundation question, what
yeah,
was the original intention when they said what they
yes,
said,
yes.
pulls back to the roots. Yeah, very true. And again, on the same note, what you are sharing, and today's Miliba was talking about the misuse of the blessing. I think what you just answered helps there. Like when Baba says, like misuse of the blessing. uh,
Mm-hmm.
which means not to become careless. Just because you have a blessing, you have full support, you stop making your effort. That's where you are misusing the blessing, which means stop doing the effort, right? So, in other words, being too comfortable, and it's also something to be discerned. One is understanding that. I need to be comfortable in whatever I practice. Like Baba says, if you are forcing yourself, you are making too much labor. You're not doing it right. And one thing that is all, I mean, general spiritual world, what they say is, if you're working too hard, you're not working hard enough. If you're meditating too hard, you're not meditating hard enough, which means you're not doing it right.
Mm.
It should not be a hard work. It should be, I think, day before yesterday for you, yesterday for us. In the slogan, Baba was telling about this. Like, look, if you're working too hard and making a lot of labor, you're forcing yourself to have love, compassion, something is really off track. Something is not right. It
You're
should be
absolutely
more
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
entertaining.
Mm.
It should be more entertaining. It should be more lighter, more light-hearted and stuff like that. Right? And having said that, if I become too careless, which means my attention is lost on that sense of lightness, then you're gone off the track. So that is where you are misusing the blessing. Right? So it is very much a matter of discerning where I'm coming from in what I'm doing or what I'm practicing or what I'm um, where is my stage, right? So which is very much to discern what is the basis of my stage. Is it that sense of lightness, or is it that the sense of genuine spiritual lightness, or is it carelessness?
Very.
That both feel sometimes same.
I
You got to
know.
be very careful. Am I so comfortable in my nidra,
I
or am I
know.
really lighter in my spiritual lightness? Mhm.
No, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Absolutely right. And today, I don't know, in so much of YouTube and information available, and in a way, you feel happy that so many people are in the spiritual path, at least, even if they are using different paths. And on the other hand, you're also a little curious because there's this talk about 5D and 7D and 9D and the Earth moving and elevating from 3D to 5D, and you see all the scientists talking about it differently. You think of the other methods, people talking differently. And I get more and more amazed at the Almighty's perspective on how different people are actually engaging in the same subject, but in different ways. And all of them are trying to do the same thing, reaching Baba, reaching the light, reaching, it's really intriguing that the whole world is transforming in that manner, you know. So you have anything to think about that because you're in the US, you must be also reading a lot of all this.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, this there is
So,
this 90 thing going on too.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it is. So I am here in San Francisco. So there is a university called UCSF, uh, University of California, San Francisco,
Mhm.
where the biggest university, I mean, top university in neuroscience, and there is a lab which actually does lot of neuroscience, research in neuroscience.
Mhm.
So one of the experiment that they are doing is on this 90, right? Because
Okay.
at the end of the day, all the experiments are how can you, what is the intervention that you want to bring in to handle certain conditions, and either it is Alzheimer's or coma or because couple of our BK brothers who are postdocs who are very much involved in that study. One brother is in coma research, one brother is doing a computational neuroscience, and so they are very much Baba's children. So they are studying, they are looking for interventions. There is this OCDs, mental health conditions. There here very extreme cases comes, especially, and they have to find an intervention. So there they are trying to see how this all this media and multimedia interventions and all these neurolinks, and they are open for everything because the case is so extreme. You see, so they do all these tests, and then at the end of the day, how I see is these are all stopgaps. This is just a stopgaps. This because anything that come from outside is just a distraction from dealing with what's there inside. Or if anything that is coming from outside, guiding you to manage things within you, that is a real solution. Either it is a psychotherapy or cognitive behavioral therapy, all of these external interventions are only helping you to how are you going to handle the things that are going inside. If you are using external things to distract yourself from the things that is going on inside, it is just a stopgap. You are just killing the time, right? So, but the best psychotherapist is Baba,
I
because
think
he his intervention is directly addressing what is going on inside. And then when you're listening to it, it's like, oh my God, he understands what I'm going through. Right? And then whatever he says, and when you try it out, it's like, man, this works. Right? And then you have that sense of mm, uh, confidence that, oh, this is the way, this is the way. And then that, then naturally that faith and that commitment naturally grows because it is working for us, because we are dealing with things that is going on inside. And especially the big part is be antarmukhi and look what's going on here. And murlis are coming from externally. We are listening through our ears, we are listening to others experiences and sharings, and all, it's all external. But at the end of the day, all of these things have to take it inside and then see how do I manage things that is going on inside. So yeah, coming back to that 90, 70s, 80s, these are all how much I am taking all of this to manage my inner world. If I don't have that perspective, they are just distractions. They are just distractions for me to distract myself from dealing with things that is going on inside. Yeah, and at the same time, Maya is very subtle. So
Mm,
we might as well be doing without our own knowledge. But that's where Baba cautions with all of these murlis.
yes. Thank you for that sharing. Thank you.
Mhm. Cool, cool. I haven't heard Girija Ben. She's fairly quiet.
Yes.
Girija Ben, any thoughts, comments? Cool, cool. Okay, so let's take a few minutes to meditate. And so,
Yes.
Harpreet Bhai, you want to lead?
No, you can lead, no problem.
Cool. So make yourself very comfortable wherever you are. Try to acknowledge all the beautiful insights Baba gives, all the newness Baba brings in our life. And gently bring your attention inside. Try to observe how you feel. How is your stage? What is your sense of presence? Try to align your awareness to the eternal part within you. Align your stage and try to feel that which is eternal, which is real, which is pure. Experience the sukh, the joy of being in touch with your real self. Being very comfortable, being at home in your eternal consciousness as you were, as you eternally are. At home with the beloved, the most beautiful and most precious Baba. Stay in this joy and carry this presence for the rest of your day. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Harpreet sister. Thank you, Harsha Bhai. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, have a lovely day.